Guys, I hope you're ready for this month in the stock market because let me tell you, it is going to be a very choppy, volatile, and maybe, just maybe, based on historical measures here, it might be the best month in the stock market all year. So we got a lot to break down, guys. We got to break down stocks, charts, earnings, CPI data coming out very soon here. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, and make sure to get your free money from Moomoo. You get up to 5 free shares of stock, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. The choice is yours, guys. Use that link down below or go to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Deposit at least $100 and boom, you get your free money. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. So I don't want to necessarily break down a bunch of charts when it comes to the overall markets in this video. We will do that tomorrow, so make sure you guys subscribe. But I do want to talk a little bit about big tech in this video because we do have a lot of these, well, I guess all of these big tech names reporting later this month. And I also want to talk a little bit about history with you guys. And again, we're going to talk a little bit about the CPI data. So historically speaking, and if you guys have been watching my channel for over a year at this point, I doubt anybody out there remembers this video, but a year ago, I made a video, no joke, exactly 1 year ago in March of 2021. I told you guys, historically speaking, the S&P 500 does the best in April, just generally speaking, I think stemming back from World War II. We'll talk about that here in a second. And I made a video last year pretty much calling out the April breakout. And I want to see if that happens again. Look, if I zoom in on this chart, I mean, obviously, we pretty much broke out every single month last year, so it's not like I'm some kind of genius where, oh, he called out the April breakout. I mean, we broke out every month, but I think we did exceptionally well in April. Yeah, look at this. This is literally April right here. I don't think we could get a good zoom in on it, but bear with me. This right here is April, right in the middle of this screen. You guys can see a huge uptick. SPY went from about under 400. I think it was at 390, 395, 398 to start out April last year, and then it ran all the way to pretty much 425 throughout the entire month. So roughly speaking here, SPY went up about, throughout April last year, about 6%, 7%, roughly speaking here. I mean, that could be wrong, obviously, but we're just rough measure here, right? Rough estimate. It went up anywhere from 5, 6, maybe 7% last April. And again, we called that out here on the YouTube channel, and I'm not claiming I'm some genius. Again, guys, every month did very well last year for the most part, but April did very well. And stocks, like I said, are typically higher in April, and historically, it's the best month of the year for the S&P 500. Like I said, the S&P has been higher 70% of the time and has gained an average of 1.7% in all Aprils since World War II. So when did World War II end? The 40s, guys. So we're talking, historically speaking, April has a return of 1.7%. And again, last year we got 5, 6, 7%, whatever it ended up being, which was obviously higher than the historical metric. And it seems like the markets did very well in March. This is the pickle. We're in a pickle right now, guys. This is the funny thing. The markets did so freaking well in March. I don't know how we're going to top that in April. I mean, I don't want to say probably, but historically speaking, there's a good chance, but I don't know how we're going to do it. Hopefully we do it because we do want to, I mean, who doesn't want to make money on paper and who doesn't want to lock in gains and have stock prices go up? I mean, we all want that for the most part, unless we're a perma bear or you're a perma bear. I don't know. I know I have a couple perma bears watching my channel, but for the most part, we want the markets to go up, but with the headwinds we have coming ahead here, it might be difficult. We have the March CPI data, which we all know that's going to include everything with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. That is coming out, those numbers, they're coming out on April 12th, exactly 10 days from when I'm filming this video. They're coming out April 12th, 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And we've already gotten numbers from Germany, Spain, other countries in Europe, and these numbers are not looking good for inflation. I mean, we talked about it a couple of videos ago, but I'll mention it again to refresh your guys' minds. We have Germany, well, I guess we had Germany report their CPI for March. The National Consumer Price Index for Germany, the CPI rose 7.3% year on year after recording an inflation rate of 5.1% in February. So it jumped a lot from February, and year over year, it's 7.3% for March, which is insane, right? And I think it's going to be, I mean, I don't want to say positive, but I am very, very confident, and I'm sure you guys are as well, that CPI for March in the U.S. is going to be more than 7.3%. It might be 8-9%. Who knows? Maybe even worse than that. And we also got Spain. Spain consumer prices rose 9.8%. Way worse than Germany, guys. Almost 10% year on year in March, the country statistics office said last week. So we're getting these numbers in Europe. Germany, Spain, not looking good. Other countries are not looking good either. So now it's the U.S.'s turn in about 10 days to report these numbers. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think we are due for a great April, even though we have the March CPI data, which arguably is already priced in to the markets? It's arguably already priced in. So do you guys think we're going to do well, or do you guys think we're not going to do well? And obviously another variable here is the Federal Reserve. Interest rates. We have the next Fed meeting in May, and they've talked about how they might have to do a 50 basis point rate hike. That might also be priced into the markets. It might not be. The markets might think the Fed's bluffing, but it all comes down to the CPI data. If that CPI number comes out very hot, 10% or something freaking crazy, or even more than that, they're probably most likely going to do a 50 basis point rate hike. And at that point, the markets, they might not have a great April. Who knows? It's really up in the air. So that's why I titled this video, "This is the biggest month for the stock market, at least in this year, 2022, so far. Who knows? It might get worse." And like I mentioned, on top of that, we have big tech reporting later this year, not later this year, later this month, and I want to break down some earnings estimates with you guys, so let's get into that before we wrap this video up. Alrighty, guys, so the first stock I want to talk about is Apple, and we're going to bang through these because we have 5 stocks to go over, 5 big tech names here that are reporting, and I do want to break down the earnings estimates for these companies moving forward, or at least for the quarter that they're about to report. So Apple's number one. You guys can see here the average estimate for EPS is $1.43, and this is based on 29 analysts. The low estimate's $1.34. High estimate is $1.56, and the year ago EPS, and this is all based on Yahoo Finance, guys. This is where I pulled these numbers. Year ago EPS was $1.40. So they're looking to grow. Even actually no, the low estimate has their EPS falling down year over year, but hey, the high estimate has it growing, the average estimate has it growing a little bit, and when it comes to revenue, the average estimate is $94 billion, low estimate's $90 billion, and the high estimate is about $100 billion, and that's based off of 26 analysts. And we don't have the number here for year ago sales, but I checked the financial statement, income statement. They did about 300. Apple did about, I think, 350 billion in revenue for 2021, something like that, maybe a little bit higher, 370. So if they're doing about 90, 95, 100 billion for the quarter, I guess that's on track. That's not bad. So that is Apple. We have them reporting here on the 28th of April. The next one, which is my favorite big tech stock and my personal largest long-term holding, we have Google, ticker symbol GOOG. They report earnings on the 26th of April, and we have a lot of estimates coming out from Google. We have 29 analysts. The average estimate for EPS is $25.93. The low estimate is $22.90. High estimate is $30, and we have the year ago EPS being around $26.29. So if they end up reporting the low estimate, that's obviously under the year ago EPS. High estimate is above the year ago EPS, and the average is right around the year ago EPS. And the revenue here, year ago sales, and this is big growth, guys. Take a look at this. Year ago sales, Google did $55.31 billion, and the estimate for this upcoming quarter, the high estimate is $70 billion, low estimate is $65 billion, average is $68 billion. So they're expected to do 20, 25% growth year over year for revenue. And you ask me, Stas, why do you love Google? Because they're a growth beast, guys. They have a huge moat, and their valuation, to be honest, is pretty, I don't want to say it's cheap. I don't want to say it's overvalued. It's pretty good though. So yeah, man, they did $55 billion last year, and if they do the high estimate this year of $70 billion, that is just tremendous growth. So we got to watch Google. They report on the 26th of this month. Microsoft is also on the 26th of this month. Let's take a look at their estimates. They have 31 analysts on here on Yahoo Finance. The average estimate for EPS is $2.19, low is $2.14, high is $2.29. The year ago EPS was $2.03. So all of those, the low, the high, the average estimate are above the EPS from last year, which is great. Number of analysts for revenue is 31. We have average estimate $49 billion. Low estimate is $48.5 billion. The high estimate is almost $50 billion, and we don't have year ago sales here, but I'm assuming the year ago sales were lower than that. So Microsoft is going to be doing well year over year. Not as well as Google, though. Again, Google, their growth is amazing. But Microsoft's up there as well, guys. Later this month, we also have Meta Platforms, ticker symbol FB. Their average estimate for EPS is $2.55. The low estimate's $2.15. The high estimate's $3.25, and a year ago they did $3.30. So we know this quarter might not be the best for Facebook. This whole year is not going to be the best for Facebook, considering what's going on with Apple, privacy, this, that, the third. They're investing billions of dollars into the metaverse, so they're going to be struggling. And I don't want to say struggling, but they're going through some growing pains right now. They're going through some problems. That's why the stock's down, and that's why I bought it, guys. So EPS will probably come in lower from last year, which is fine for now at least. And for average revenue, they have an estimate of $28.3 billion. Low estimate is $26.5. High estimate is $29.5. And the year ago sales, they did $23.6. So no matter what they report based on these estimates, they're going to be growing 15-20% year over year, which I'm loving. And the last one here, last but not least, it is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. They have 40 analysts reporting, and their EPS is going to be down a good chunk from last year. The average estimate for this quarter is $8.5. The low estimate's around $6, high estimates in the mid 11s, and last year they did about almost $16 in EPS. And for revenue, they're doing about, on average this quarter that they're about to report, $116 billion is the average. The low estimate's $114, the high estimate's $120 billion, and last year they did $104.46 billion. And their expected growth for sales is about 11%. So still growing over 10% based on the estimate, but again, not as much as Google, guys, and you can clearly tell I love my Google. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to dive too deep into these companies, but I did want to just run through the estimates that I'm personally seeing and kind of some thoughts on the overall market, CPI, April, and the historical numbers. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Drop me a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and feel free to join my Patreon if you want to try it out. You get all my buy, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more on Patreon. And on top of that, you get more access to me and you get to pick my brain if you want to. So join that link down below, or go to StasSurfS.com/Patreon and make sure to get your free money from Moomoo. You get up to 5 free stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Just use that link down below, or go to StasSurfS.com/Moomoo, deposit at least $100, and boom, you get your free money. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.